back, Refocus Gang, and welcome back to another episode of Refocus on You. I greatly appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys had a great week. Please make sure that you are liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos. Make sure you are sharing them everywhere with everybody on all social media platforms, on Pinterest, on blogs, on anything. Just share. Everybody needs a little healing. Everybody needs a little help. Today we're going to be talking about forgiveness. Now, forgiveness can be a hard thing sometimes. But when you really think about the whole purpose of forgiveness, it becomes a little bit easier. So, I like to start with a definition. Definition of forgiveness: the intentional and voluntary process by which one who may initially feel victimized undergoes a change in feelings and attitude regarding a given offense and overcomes negative emotions like resentment and vengeance. So that definition basically said forgiveness is when you really take the time to analyze what happened and change your feelings and attitude towards what actually happened. So instead of thinking, oh, poor me, or they did me wrong, you think about the lesson behind what happened. You think about what it taught you and how it will benefit you further. I know it's so cliche to hear, forgiving is for you, it's not for the other person. And I know you hear that all the time and you're like, oh my God, what if I don't want to forgive? But you got to think, when you hold on to things, when you refuse to forgive, you're really hurting yourself. You're allowing your past to make its way into your future or your present time and control your thoughts and the way you feel about certain things in this given time. So think about this. Okay, so my daughter loves Frozen. So we're going to talk about Frozen today. So in Frozen 1, Elsa actually struck Anna twice. She struck her when they was little by mistake, and they erased it from her memory. Once she got older, she came to her powers more. They had the little accident, and she struck her again by mistake. Now think, what if Anna had been so upset with Elsa, like, no, I can't forgive you, I can't live in the palace, I can't do none of this, you're evil, you're this. The whole city would have been under snow and probably died because Anna didn't have the courage to save Elsa at the end. What if Anna had not forgiven Elsa for striking her? What if she held some type of animosity? When you go on to Frozen 2, Anna and Elsa together breaks a generational curse. So think about all that would have been slowed down if Anna had not forgiven Elsa. So when it comes to forgiveness, you have to think about it like that. What are you stopping in your life harboring these feelings about a past event? I read a book called The 4 Agreements. I can't think of the author at this current moment, but I'll put it in my description box. One of the 4 agreements is don't take anything personal. People's actions are a reflection of them as a person and never of you as a person. The most important thing to remember is what a person does to you has nothing to do with who you are, nothing you've done, the person you are within. It has everything to do with them. When you start to look at life like that, it'll be so much easier to forgive, because you'll understand that no matter what I could have done during this time, it would not have made this any different. Why? Because this is just who this person was at this time, and it was no way for me to change that. So you have to think of your life as a production, as a play, as a movie. When you're watching a movie, everything that happens in the movie leads up to the end point, leads up to the final destination, the happily ever after, the ending of the movie, the hoorah, the great whatever. So think about your life like that. In a movie, you have some ups, some downs, some intense moments, some moments where you're not sure if the main character is going to make it, some moments that you're on the edge of your seat, some moments when you're like, this is really boring. You have all of these types of moments. You have to look at your life the same exact way. So everything that happens to you lines up to the great hoorah, the ending, the end goal, the purpose, the way for you to find yourself Everything has to happen. That also will help you forgive, because if you think about it, everything that happened to you was meant and will work out for your greater good. So don't hold grudges against those. They were just a character in your play, a character in your movie that had to do such and such in order to get you somewhere else. When you refuse to forgive, you give other people the mental space in your mind. So basically, you're allowing someone else to control your peace, your happiness, the way you feel inside. Because if you think about it, if someone hurt you, say when you was younger, your little cousin always beat you up for your bubble gum. You're going to go through life feeling like everybody's going to beat you up for your bubble gum. Like, the way that you act now has a certain degree of it comes from and stems from the things that happened to you in the past. So if you don't forgive people, you go on holding those grudges and you start taking them out on other people, therefore messing up your present time because of something that happened in the past. Don't allow what somebody else has done control your life. The more you forgive and the easier it is for you to forgive, the more peace you'll have. The easier it'll be like, I'm in good spirits. I have good energy because I'm not holding on to things that no longer serve me. Forgiveness is releasing those things that no longer serve you. Releasing those people that may have hurt you, but it is what it is. Once you realize you can't change it, you can't take it back, the best thing to do is realize the lesson that was in it and keep on moving forward. A lot of times, if you think about it, the things that we fail to forgive people for are things that they made no promise to be to us. So say like your boyfriend cheated on you. Sometimes people never promised you that they would be faithful to you, or that you were their only person, or that they could, like, their actions didn't even show that they would be fit to be the person that you needed them to be. But in your mind, you created something in your mind because of something that you wanted, and you put that onto them, not realizing that you can't make a person be who you want them to be. So a lot of times we're holding on to things that we don't want to forgive, and it's really our fault because we put that in our mind. It was something they never told us. It was something they never agreed to. Or say like somebody cut you off going down the road. They never agreed to drive down the road the right way and not cut you off. They didn't make a pact with you that morning when you got in your car like, hey girl, I'm not going to cut you off today. If you allow that to mess up your whole entire day, that's your fault. The lesson is make sure you're looking where you're going at all times, because everybody don't know how to drive. Or like in the scenario with the boyfriend, make sure that the person that you are planning a time with, a season with, that their actions show that they can actually manage that season. A lot of times we're trying to put things onto people that they can't even manage. They're not ready for, and their actions prove that they're not ready for. Forgive them and keep it moving, because not forgiving them is holding yourself in bondage. You're keeping them in your life and they've gone on about their own. Like I said before, not forgiving is like allowing your past to control your present. The things you're holding on to, the people that you won't forgive, are only lessons that you were meant to learn. So ask, what was the lesson? What was that supposed to teach me? Honestly, personal accountability. What could I have done better? Did I allow this to happen? Like in the situation with the boyfriend. If he wasn't showing any actions that he could be faithful, you allowed that to happen because you knew this man couldn't be faithful when you decided to make him your all. So sometimes you have to actually look at yourself like, could I have prevented this? But definitely don't let no one hold weight in your mind or hold weight in your life that it slows you down. If you don't forgive, if you don't learn the lesson, you're going to keep on having to go through that lesson. If you don't forgive, think about if you're stuck in a scene of your life simply because you won't forgive something that happened 10 years ago. There's a lesson behind everything. You have to release what does not serve you. If it do not serve you, learn your lesson, forgive it, and keep it moving. Because it's another scene. It's another life that you're supposed to be living, and you can't get to the next level until you learn the lessons on this level. Forgive. Forgive all who have wronged you. Forgive the little. Forgive the big. Forgive the things that you may not even have talked about yet. If you have to write it down and burn it, do that. That's a great way to release. If you have some stuff that you have not been able to maybe talk to anyone about and that you are holding on to, write it down. Even if you have to write a letter to that person and tell them how they made you feel, what they did to you, how you felt wrong, how you've been holding on to, and at the end of the letter put, I now release this. This no longer serves me. Burn it. You can release it from yourself. Write it down. If you can talk to people, talk to them, pull them to the side like, hey, you may not know this, but such and such happened. It made me feel this way. I'm no longer going to let it affect me. I just want you to know I forgive you regardless of whether you apologize or not. But from this day forward, I'm moving on. I'm letting it go. Forgive. Please forgive so that you can move forward to the next season of your life. All right. I greatly appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye. If you like this shirt, the Refocus on You logo, check out www.refocusonyou.com. We have merch. We have different apparels. We have the Generational Game Changers. We have the mug. We have hoodies with the logo on it. Check it out. All right. Bye.